The sun dipped low over Pine County's lakeside, casting a warm glow on my new cabin, its forest green paint a bold defiance against the sea of beige homes. I'm Ethan Caldwell, freshly elected sheriff, gifted this retreat by my parents to escape the grind of law enforcement. But peace was short-lived. A police convoy roared into my driveway, lights flashing like a cartel raid, all because I dared to build a fence. Leading the charge was Vivian Hart, the self-proclaimed HOA queen, pointing at my half-built fence like I'd desecrated her kingdom. "Officers, arrest this man," she shrieked, her voice dripping with suburban fury. She thought she could bully the new guy. She didn't know she'd picked a fight with the sheriff, or that her empire of fake rules was about to crumble. If you've ever faced an HOA tyrant who thinks they own your life, this story's for you. 6 months ago, my parents handed me the keys to this cabin, a reward for years of climbing the law enforcement ladder. Its vibrant green stood out in Lakeside Pines, a neighborhood suffocated by uniformity. I was admiring it when Eleanor Gray, my neighbor of 40 years, shuffled over, dragging a garden hose. "Welcome, Ethan," she said, her smile warm but cautious. "Watch out for Vivian Hart, the HOA president. She's got rules for everything: grass height, mailbox color, you name it." Before I could respond, Vivian marched across my lawn, clipboard in hand, blonde hair unmoved by the breeze. "I'm Vivian Hart, Lakeside Pines HOA president," she declared, thrusting a 47-page rulebook at me. "Your cabin's paint is unacceptable. Repaint it beige within 30 days." She dropped to her knees, measuring my grass. 3.2 inches. Standards 3 inches max. Her tone was pure dictator. I'd arrested felons with more courtesy. That night, I pored over the property deed. The survey map revealed a bombshell: my cabin sat outside the HOA's original boundaries, free from their control. Vivian was operating on a lie, assuming authority over my land. The next morning, she was back, documenting the violations like a detective at a crime scene. "Vivian," I said, holding up the survey, "my property isn't under your HOA." She waved it off. "We expanded our boundaries. Everyone complies." Her arrogance was staggering. She thought she could redraw legal lines with a vote. "Who authorized that?" I asked, voice calm but firm. Her face reddened. "The community voted. You'll face consequences if you don't obey." I drove a stake into my property line. "I'm building a fence," I said. "Try stopping me." Her eyes narrowed, a storm brewing. Vivian unleashed a bureaucratic onslaught, flooding my mailbox with fans for paint, grass, even my welcome mat angle. She turned trivialities into crimes, banking on intimidation. Her notices, laced with threats of legal action, were designed to break spirits. I suspected my neighbors had endured this for years. At the county clerk's office, I dug into Lakeside Pines records. No HOA was registered, no bylaws, no incorporation, no vote to expand. Vivian's operation was a fraud, extorting thousands from residents too scared to fight back. She wasn't just a bully, she was a con artist in pearls. Eleanor visited that evening, cookies in hand, her face heavy with worry. "Vivian's driven out 3 families," she said. An elderly couple landed in the hospital from her harassment. She described fines for flags, toys, even flower pots, targeting the vulnerable elderly, busy parents, anyone avoiding conflict. "Most pay to keep the peace," she sighed. My fence wasn't just for me anymore, it was a stand against a predator. I hired a contractor, permits in hand, to mark my boundaries. Monday morning, posts went up, each thought a challenge to Vivian's reign. She appeared, clipboard clutched like a weapon. "Stop this illegal construction," she shouted. I held up my permits. "This is my land, Vivian. Check the law." Neighbors watched, some cheering quietly, others stunned that someone dared defy her. Vivian called an emergency HOA meeting, waving photos of my fence like evidence of treason. She pushed a $500 daily fine, claiming community support despite only 8 votes. Eleanor brought me the official fine notice, shaking her head. She shouted down anyone who questioned her. I planned a counter meeting to expose her scam. But Vivian escalated. Tuesday morning, sirens blared as 3 patrol cars stormed my driveway, officers leaping out like it was a drug bust. Vivian stood behind them, triumphant. Arrest him for destroying property values, she demanded. Deputy Lucas Hayes stepped forward, then froze, recognizing me. Sheriff Caldwell, he said, bewildered. Vivian's face drained of color. Sheriff, she stammered. But you're just a resident. I handed Lucas my permit. Vivian's claiming authority she doesn't have, I said. Care to explain property rights? Lucas, stifling a grin, told her, this is legal construction. Calling 911 for this could be misuse of emergency services. Vivian's empire cracked before her eyes. She didn't back down. She accused me of corruption, filing complaints with county officials and pitching a bribery story to the local paper. The reporter laughed, spotting holes in her tale, but her desperation was clear. Neighbors reported her circling my cabin, taking photos, plotting her next move. I installed security cameras, sensing her desperation could turn dangerous. Tuesday night, a neighbor called, whispering, Vivian was at your truck today, sneaking something inside. I met Lucas at the grocery store lot where I'd parked. Under the seat, we found an envelope with $2,000 and a fake note implying I'd taken bribes. My cameras had caught Vivian planting it, her gloved hands betraying her guilt. She's done, Lucas said, reviewing the footage. Framing a sheriff. That's a felony. Wednesday, I called Vivian to the pavilion for a resolution. She arrived smug, thinking she'd won. I hope you've reconsidered, she said, oblivious to her doom. I slid the footage across. Explained the envelope in my truck. Her face collapsed, stammering denials. Lucas stepped out, handcuffs ready. Vivian Hart, you're under arrest for fraud, extortion, and planting evidence. She screamed, this is corruption, as Lucas read her rights, her delusion clinging to the end. The community exhaled as she was led away, neighbors gathering, some cheering, others stunned that their tormentor was finished. The fallout was swift. Vivian's charges fraud, extortion, false reports piled up, backed by my file of $15,000 in fake fines she'd collected. She pleaded guilty, getting 18 months in prison and ordered to repay every cent. Neighbors reclaimed their homes, painting them vibrant colors, planting gardens, flying flags. The veteran raised a massive American flag, grinning, because I can. A young family built a swing set, their daughter's laughter a rebuke to Vivian's cruelty. The real homeowners group formed, focused on cooperation, not control. Property values soared as Lakeside Pines became a haven of freedom. The story spread statewide, sparking debates on HOA abuse. My fence became a symbol of defiance, featured in articles as a stand against tyranny. Residents from other towns called, seeking advice to fight similar scams. The legislature eyed new laws to curb fake HOAs. At a block party celebrating the fence's completion, Eleanor toasted, to Ethan, who showed us bullies only win if we let them. My cabin, once a battleground, was now my sanctuary, proof that standing firm can break even the most entrenched power. Vivian thought she ruled an empire, but it was built on lies, toppled by truth and a sheriff who knew the law. The real victory wasn't her fall, it was a neighborhood rediscovering its voice, unafraid to live free.